Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am Dr. Claudia Albers, Planet X research and professional physicist. And today I'd like to bring to you another one of my articles. This one's entitled Nuclear War and Planet X Cataclysm on Earth, like on Mars. Now, as I have shown in previous articles, the Earth was once a part of a technologically advanced galactic empire with Atlantis most likely as its capital. The empire was suddenly destroyed by God 6,000 years ago when the ruler of the empire, Lucifer, the reptilian king, which is why he is referred to as a serpent and a dragon in the Bible, did the unthinkable. He captured the stars of God, other spiritual beings like him, who were created by God in flesh and blood bodies. He captured them in order to use their energy. So God destroyed the whole empire except for the planets in the solar system, which would include Mars, a planet that clearly has had an advanced civilization on it. But the destroyed planets started coming into the solar system about 1,000 years after their destruction, which then led to the flood event on Earth and the destruction of the other planets in the solar system, including Mars, which thus became a barren wasteland unfit to support life on its surface. And you may look at Article 623 entitled Planet X and Atlantis to Now What Happened, and Article 624 entitled Planet X and the movie Star Wars reveal the truth about who we are. And here's a photograph of the surface of Mars, and you can clearly see there's a face on it, and there are pyramids on it. So, and the pyramids seem to be in ruins. But these are clearly pyramids. You can see from the shape that these are pyramids. Even that, it's a pyramid. Now, Mars has no water, but there are all signs that not so long ago there were rivers and an ocean on Mars. The presence of pyramids on Mars shows that the civilization on Mars was clearly connected to that found on Earth, as there are lots of pyramids on Earth. And since we already know who was the leader of that civilization, we also know who was responsible for the building of the pyramids. Lucifer, of course. Now, here are images taken by the first probe to perform a flyby of Mars, and that was Mariner 4, and that was in 1965. And it revealed a surface very much like the Moon, with lots of craters, obviously the surface of a dead planet. There were no signs of greenery or anything else anywhere, no water anywhere. And this is from Mariner 9, which was launched in 1971. And this is the largest river valley on Mars. It looks exactly like the ones on Earth, river valleys, except there's no water in it. But it shows that there was water on Mars once. It was once a living planet with water on it and riverbeds, river valleys. And so this showed the same probe, Mariner 9, also took photographs of volcanoes, a huge canyon, and riverbeds, more riverbeds like this one is the largest. And of course there are craters. There are craters everywhere, at least that's what they call them. And this indicated that there had once been water and thus life on the planet, but that it's now dead. There's no water, and without water there cannot be life. Now, Dr. John Brandenburg found evidence of nuclear weapon signature on Mars, as he found certain isotopes which cannot naturally be produced but can only arise when a nuclear device is detonated. He states that it happened millions of years ago, which I don't think is possible. What has most likely happened is that the radioactive decay rates are not constant but dependent on gravitational energy, and that they went through a fast rate of decay at the time of the flood, when the Earth also seems to have expanded to twice its size. And you may look at Article 516 entitled "The Great Flood Cataclysm Caused the Earth to Expand and Oceans to Appear." And then slowed again as the electrons which the Earth is absorbing from the Planet X system objects started locking up the gravitational energy inside the Earth's core and would thus prevent nuclei from decaying. So the same thing would have happened on Mars. The Planet X system objects would have come in at that time and start affecting all the planets at that time in very similar ways. But what would have caused such a nuclear war? War is the result of Lucifer planting thoughts in the minds of flesh and blood beings like these on Mars, which he had created in order to turn them against each other and thus get them to destroy themselves. This is how Lucifer destroys the beings he has created once he no longer wants them alive. Nuclear war is basically, therefore, Lucifer's self-destruct button for the beings that he has created through manipulating the genetic makeup of the animals God had created on his planets, and into which he trapped us. On the other hand, God brings judgment or destroys because of evil misconduct through the Planet X system, which he created by removing his light or his gravitational energy from the particles making up those stars and planets. Lucifer's destruction would have caused a huge decrease in the population and a literal destruction of civilization, but it would not have destroyed the planet. Only the Planet X system could do that. The objects first induce matter creation events or plasma ejections from deep within the planet, which causes the appearance of volcanoes on the surface. That's why Mars has volcanoes, and also causes the planet to expand and to fissure as a result of the expansion, which then causes canyons to form. Mariner 9 found both volcanoes and a huge canyon on Mars. The Planet X objects absorb so much energy that water, which is produced deep within the planet, no longer reaches the surface and the planet dries up. This is what happened on Mars. And the water that had been on its surface was either absorbed by the stellar cores, that's the Planet X system objects, which went to Mars after entering the solar system, or it went underground through fissures that would have opened up. This would have happened on Earth as well, but it seems that Earth is at the correct orbital distance to catch a lot of Planet X debris water. In other words, water from deep within the destroyed planets, which turned into water clouds when the planets broke into pieces as a result of their gravitational energy being removed. But Earth's own water is clearly in decline, as the atmosphere is becoming increasingly depleted in water vapor, as can be seen from the lack of humidity during cold weather. In other words, the Earth's core is producing less and less water. And you may look at Article 614 entitled "Earth Dying, Water Production Declining, Low Humidity and Dry Skin." And here you can see what on Earth we know as sinkholes. These are definitely not craters. They are not caused by an asteroid impact. They are what we call sinkholes, where they simply just appear. Suddenly the ground gives way and there's a huge, big, perfectly round hole there. And these are caused by the Planet X objects when they approach Earth from space. The craters on Mars are not craters then. They are sinkholes produced when a Planet X system stellar core arrives at the planet and causes a magma layer deep inside the planet to be repelled. It moves further down into the planet and causes all layers above it to move down as well, thus creating perfectly circular sinkholes. Anything happening that's some kind of effect on the planet would never create a perfectly round hole. It would just create a jagged shaped, irregular shaped hole. A perfectly circular hole can only be created by the interaction between the Earth's surface or matter within the Earth with a spherical object, a source of gravitational energy. The stellar cores, or the Planet X system stellar cores, that have been coming into the solar system for thousands of years now. And you can see that's the photograph of that river valley on Mars. You can see this here, which formed right on top of where the river was flowing before. This is like that. It's perfectly round. It's a sinkhole. It formed when the Planet X system started affecting the planet. So on Mars, the sinkholes might get filled with sand from dust storms. On Earth, they usually get filled with water, as we see here, from rain, which also comes from the Planet X system because it comes from the clouds that are part of the debris. It is also possible that the sinkholes caused the water on the surface to seep underground so that the surface ended up as a wasteland. And even though there is at the moment a huge quantity of water on Earth, it could also happen here. If the Earth's decline in gravitational energy causes the water to move further, causes the Earth to move away from the Sun, then the Planet X debris water could stop coming into the Earth's atmosphere, as the Earth would now be out of the region in the solar system where this type of debris ends up. In other words, closer to Mars' current orbit. Earth would have no rain and no ability to create its own water, which would turn it into a desert and a wasteland, just like Mars. The Earth may even have oceans, and still the land masses would turn into deserts because of the lack of clouds and thus rain. The fact that Mars suffered a nuclear war before Planet X turned the planet into a wasteland suggests that Lucifer may have known what was about to happen to the planet and decided to do his own destruction beforehand. It is clear that Lucifer is manipulating the leaders of the nations on Earth in order to bring about a nuclear war on Earth, which may be a strong indication that Planet X is about to destroy the Earth, just like it destroyed Mars. But even if Earth never loses the Planet X reign, earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, huge rogue waves, tidal surges, and cataclysmic storm systems are all caused by the Planet X system. And since these are having increasing effects on the planet and may dramatically increase at any time, so that each effect becomes cataclysmic, it is not difficult to see that the Earth is about to be destroyed by the Planet X system, and that Lucifer is about to create a nuclear war to destroy most of the population before the Planet X cataclysm occurs, just like it happened on Mars several thousand years ago. And here you see photographs illustrating what's happening on Earth. That's all due to the Planet X system, and is actually increasing and could lead to cataclysmic volcanic eruptions, which can destroy most of the surface of the Earth. These storm systems, these tornadoes, are as a result of the Planet X systems. There would be a stellar core source of gravitational field right here inside this cloud. This is the object that causes these things to form. These are gravitational vortices. And so these storms are created by the Planet X system. And tidal surges are also caused by these objects, as are these huge rogue waves. And you may look at Article 549 entitled Planet X Cataclysm Engulfing Earth, How Bad Can It Get, for more details. So in conclusion, events on the planet Mars, such as nuclear war followed by the destruction of the planet by the Planet X system, seems to parallel what is getting ready to happen on planet Earth. And these are the references. This is Dr. Claudia Albers, Planet X physicist. Thank you for watching.